Welcome to Founder's Story. I'm your host, Lee O'Brien. In today's modern age, mental wellness has become one of not only a catchphrase, but one of the most paramount and important topics. And our guest today is one of the experts who's seen the full range of what mental health and mental wellness is all about. Dr. Tomi Mitchell is a board certified physician and a mental wellness expert. She's an author, an educator, and she hosts her own podcast as well, the Mental Health and Wellness Show. Dr. Tomi Mitchell, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Lee.
So first of all, you made a transition from a family physician to mental health wellness advocate. What was maybe the cause of the transition, and what do you find has aided you in making that transition?
Well, I think the biggest pivot was my own personal life. In order to have buy-in and really be passionate about a subject, I believe you have to be authentic and come from a place of personal experience plus professional. So for me, I guess the climax was, the near-death experience of my 4-day-old daughter, and then myself having post-pregnancy complications, and the realization afterwards of like, I am going full speed. I always believed in go big or go home, and I definitely was going big and go home in my medical practice, but I wasn't taking time for myself. And until I had to come to that place of, okay, I have nothing left to give, did I honestly look at myself first. And then I also looked at my patients as they were coming in with similar concerns of burnout, depression, and realizing that, perhaps the way we've been presenting this subject hasn't really served our patients. And that's why I love to talk on this very important topic, to really shed light on really what is mental health, and perhaps let's rethink the way we do this thing.
Very interesting. I find it amazing that you took a personal experience and transcended over into the professional that you can help others with. That's very inspiring, to say the least.
Thank you.
The concept mental fitness, has very much become paramount importance for many people. What do you find is your unique maybe contribution to that term and to the application of that to people in public?
Okay, so mental fitness, think of it like physical fitness. Somebody can be physical fit, but not mentally fit. Mentally fit has to do with the ability to see a challenge, but quickly being turned that into an obstacle. So challenge, solution, right? Instead of like many of us, we get so focused on this is a problem and the problem defines you. And that requires creativity. That requires laser, clear focus action, which is a big part of the right side of our brain. Versus the left side, that was kind of like our Neanderthal brain, where it's like, oh my goodness, something's going to get me. I got to stay away from the tiger that's going to eat me. I got to find tomorrow's food. Stress, cortisol, negative impacts over time on our bodies. So switching from the left to right, that's pretty much it. That's why there are people who can go through what seems like really terrible situations, but they'll be like, okay, like, yes, they acknowledge their feelings, like, yes, that sucked, it hurt me, but they bounce back. And that bounce back is mental fitness.
Got it. Very concise. And would love to be one of those people that bounces back really quick. So I'm glad you're teaching people how to do that. That's absolutely important. So you actually have a platform for the work that you're doing and the help you're giving other people, holistic wellness strategies. Could you elaborate to us about this platform? What are kind of the unique offerings that you have there? What are the strengths of the platform that you see?
Definitely. So this platform is one that I can use virtually and in person. And that's something that I'm grateful for because it's helped increase the number of people I can help impact. So basically, there's different arms to the platform. There's the individual side, which I strongly recommend everyone should go through this and really work through one's own stuff, because you can't give what you don't have. And not only that, it's best to give from an abundance, a cup where it's overflowing, because so many of us are giving from that half empty glass. And what is that? That's backwash. Ew. Who wants that? So that's the it's like, right? That's an original. You can quote me on that.
Great metaphor. Yeah.
Great metaphor, right? Because who wants to drink that last bit of communion cup? Ew, I don't think so. But anyway, that last bit, most of us are giving from that place of empty because we got fed the Kool-Aid of glass half full, glass half empty. That's still mediocre. That's still a scarcity mindset. So, as a leader, as a business owner, as an individual, you need to first be aware of your blinders, right? And then we have the organizational piece where you have organizations, you're like, okay, people are stressed out, people are leaving work, they're going on leave, it's costing us so much, we're losing productivity, we're losing our best stars. What's happening? But still, I'm a big believer of we still have to work on what's going on the top level, like big picture, and also support those underneath, right? Because health, wellness, burnout is like three tiers you got to look at. There's the individual stuff, what's going on in our lives, and what also went on in the past. Because we often like to sweep that stuff under the rug. But the fact is, if you put enough stuff under the rug, you'll eventually trip over it. And most of us are busy tripping over our past and not realizing. So those are the uncomfortable but powerful questions that we have to ask. And then the second layer is the team. It's like you working with the people you work with on a project, right? And then thirdly is a system. You'll have to have lived under a rock if you didn't realize that the choices made by up above affect everyone below, right? So three layers we look at. Obviously, getting to the top is probably the most challenging one. But if we can really work on the first two, yourself, the teams, and then the systems and society cultural pieces, then truly we have kind of reached that self actualization, that pinnacle. Like, okay, we've got this. But unfortunately, most of us struggle on the foundation, which is ourself, and then the second one, and then the third one. Well, that's a whole new level. So that's what we do. We look at the individual, but we definitely encourage them to look not just at the individual, but the team and help create holistic strategies. So holistic is whole person. Health is not just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, financial, social. And strategies require, it takes a plan. You have to create a blueprint, right? So that's what we do at Holistic Wellness Strategies.
Oh man, that's amazing. So many layers to it, and just so profound.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, and it goes without mentioning, you work with quite many high achieving individuals. You know, high level executives, professionals, and whatnot. When
Yes.
when you're dealing with them, um, what kind of areas do you focus on specifically? And maybe for the high achievers and maybe those maybe who aren't so high achieving, what are some commonalities maybe you see between the two that can help both?
Yes. So when they come in, a lot of people are, cautious about opening up about their perceived weaknesses, right? Because high achievers, you know what? We have this standard that we hold ourselves to. So I let them share with me. I listen, right? And then there are definite things that we all have to deal with, and at different parts of the conversation we have the conversation. And one really big one is work life integration. Now people talk about balance, which is great, but life is hardly ever balanced. Like, we have to be able to, like a teeter totter, sometimes you're up personal, sometimes you're down, but at the end of the day there's harmony, right? You're working towards the bigger picture and figuring out what that looks like for you based on your situation, because we are not cookie cutter. And that's one thing I despise. I despise cookie cutter, whether it's cookie cutter homes, cookie cutter mentality, cookie cutter, whatever. We want to create a strategy that A is sustainable for you, that you can buy into. Like, this means a lot to you. Just because I want you to go to the moon, but you're only ready to go like down the street, I can't be like, go to the moon, go to the moon. No, you want to go down the street, let me help you get down the street. And as we build a relationship, we build trust, then you're like, you know what, maybe I want to go across the street, like across town. And I'm like, yes, let's do this. What would we do across town? And it's a journey. And I love it. And it reminds me of the family practice side of my career, where I see patients from preconception to end of life. So even though I took a break in from primary care, it's still my foundation, right? And also helps bring that, I guess, credibility and authenticity to what I speak, and also knowing what's new out there, because it seems like every year there's a new flavor, there's a new challenge that people are concerned about, and I want to be like on the front line, aware, staying authentic, and helping.
That's amazing. That is great. Dr. Mitchell, where can people, I mean, people are going to want to know a lot more about this. Where can they get a hold of you?
For sure. They can Google holisticwellnessstrategies.com. That's holistic with an H, or just search my name, Dr. Tomi Mitchell. You will find me.
That's great. Dr. Mitchell, thank you so much for taking your time. And more so, thank you for sharing your authenticity and your wisdom with us today.
My pleasure.
Thanks.